tag video for you. Basically, my friend just thought I should do it, and I'm interested in doing it, so I'm gonna do it whether people want to see it or not. If you didn't already know, I'm a huge Tolkien, Lord of the Rings nerd, and those are some of my absolute favorite stories. Reading, especially the Lord of the Rings, is like comfort food for me. I just love the way Tolkien writes, the way he speaks, the way he uses words is just absolutely beautiful. And I just love falling into his world and everything. So I thought it would be fun to do the Tolkien tag. I will link the original video down below if you want to go watch that and or do the questions yourself. I'll also list all the questions below like I always do in my tag videos. So if you're interested in doing it as well, definitely do the video or do a blog post answering the questions, or answer the questions in the comments, and I would love to read or see your version of this tag. For now, let's just get into it. Question number 1. How does your Middle-earth story begin? From the videos I was watching, basically what this question is actually asking is not for me to make up a beginning to a story, which is kind of what I thought when I first read the question, but it's more like, how did I get into Tolkien? Weird way to word it, but whatever, I'll answer the question. Basically, when I was in grade 3, I believe, my mom introduced me to The Hobbit and we read it together. And then after we read The Hobbit, we read The Lord of the Rings. So the first time that I ever read The Lord of the Rings, I was 8 or 9. I think we were definitely through it by the end of grade 4. I think I started sometime late grade 3 and read through grade 4. The Lord of the Rings is actually what introduced me to Harry Potter because I wanted more like fantasy stuff. But this isn't about Harry Potter, this is about Tolkien. So I read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings over the course of grade 3 and grade 4. I also read it again in grade 6, and I'm only just recently reread all of the books maybe a year ago, and I'm currently rereading The Hobbit with my boyfriend right now. Question number 2. What is your favorite Middle-earth book? Granted, I've only read the 4 or 2 if you want to classify The Lord of the Rings as a single book, which I usually do. If you want to call it 2 books, then my favorite book is The Lord of the Rings. If we want to call it 3 books, no, if we want to call it 4 books, then my favorite book is probably Return of the King, just because it is the biggest one. It wraps up all of the stories. It has Ents, I think it has the Ents and everything. It has also the appendices, and the appendices have a lot of really cool sort of after story, so I really like The Return of the King. Question number 3. What is your favorite movie? My favorite movie is almost definitely The Return of the King. I just really love the ending of the story. I think it's really great. The whole movie, like the whole trilogy for Lord of the Rings, is a great set of movies. I think they were really phenomenally done. Absolutely beautiful, so well cast. It's just perfect. The way they did The Hobbit wasn't as good in my opinion. It was still an excellent set of movies, and I really liked that they added extra stuff in, but it just wasn't as beautiful. There was a lot more CG and a lot less sort of set, if that makes any sense, and I really love how they used the set and the CG and mixed it all together in The Lord of the Rings. It was just a lot more real and immersive and gorgeous. So book and movie number 3, but the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy is amazing. Question number 4, movies or books? Books, because I love Tolkien's writing style and his description and how much more there is when the books are there. It's just so much more complete. However, I do really love the movies, and I think that Peter Jackson did a fantastic version of the Lord of the Rings movies, and I'm really glad that he did them. I also think it's a lot easier to watch a 2 or 3 hour movie than it is to read like a 300 to 400 to 500 page book. So while the books are better, I like that there's like a little bite-sized piece of Lord of the Rings that I can have whenever I want it, if I want it. So books if I can only have one, but I love that there's both. Question number 5, what are your favorite characters, or who are your favorite characters? I like a lot of the characters in Lord of the Rings. A much easier question would probably be my least favorite character, and unpopular opinion time, but especially in the books, but also really in the movies. My least favorite character, at least of the like good guys, is Boromir. I really hate Boromir. I think he's a whiny bitch. I'm not sad he died. Favorite character though, I really, really love Gandalf. He's probably got to be my favorite character. Aside from Gandalf, I really love Fangorn or Treebeard. I love Aragorn, is a fantastic character. I love Sam. I love Gollum. Legolas is amazing, especially in the movies. I'm not sure he's as big of a character in the books, but in the movie he's definitely amazing. Orlando Bloom made an excellent Legolas. One really sad thing about the movie adaptations is that there is no Tom Bombadil, and as much as I hated Tom Bombadil's character the first time I ever read the series, and probably the second time I ever read The Lord of the Rings, the most recent time that I reread it, it was just like, oh my god, Tom Bombadil is such a cool character, and I'm really sad that that didn't translate into the movie. So yes, those are a myriad of my favorite characters. Question number 6, what Middle-earth race would you be? Which is kind of a much different question than asking what my favorite race is, because for favorite race, I definitely think that the elves are my favorite. The elves are just, they're so beautiful and knowledgeable, and especially in the books, I love that they're like tricksy, kind of like fairies in British folklore and British fantasy. They're just so interesting and so fascinating and so ancient, and I just think they're the coolest characters in The Lord of the Rings, in Tolkien's whole world. I also really love the Ents. I find the Ents really, really fascinating, really cool, and the wizards are really cool. But if I was going to pick what race I would be, I would have to say I was going to be a hobbit, because as much as I would love to be a tall, slender, beautiful, wise, fantastic elf person, I would be a hobbit. I want to eat, I want to sing, I want to read, I want to relax, I want to live in a comfortable little hobbit hole, and I want to eat. I already said eat, but I'm a hobbit, so I would eat some more. Plus, I'm not particularly tall. I've already kind of got curly hair. I'd be a hobbit. Let's face it. Question number 7. Best actor character casting match. This is so hard. I think, though, if I had to pick just one match, I would have to pick Gandalf. Sir Ian McKellen as Gandalf is just phenomenal. He's just the best Gandalf that could possibly have been, and I'm so glad that he was cast as Gandalf. Is just the coolest character in the entire world, and like one of the coolest actors that have ever lived, and they were perfect. It was a perfect match. Ooh, and I keep forgetting about the Hobbit movies, but Martin Freeman for young Bilbo is like a dream come true good, like so good. And also Thranduil was an excellent casting choice, considering that he is Legolas's father. They just look really, really similar, especially if you compare Thranduil in The Hobbit to Legolas in Lord of the Rings, because they did something weird to Legolas's character in the Hobbit movies, but just sort of ignore his weirdness in that and compare new Thranduil to old Legolas, and they're so perfect. Question number 8, what is your favorite place in Middle-earth? And pretty much without a doubt, Rivendell is my absolute favorite. Since before the movies ever came out, I knew that Rivendell was a super cool place, and when they started putting out concept art for the movies, and yes, I was that much of a nerd even at like 11 years old, but when they started putting out concept art, it was just like, it was mind-blowing how beautiful it was, and also how similar the pictures were to like what you imagine, just using Tolkien's words. And it's this beautiful old hidden paradise in the middle of absolute nowhere, and it's just gorgeous. And finally, question number 9, what is your favorite quote from the books or movies? This is ridiculously hard for me because not only am I a huge like Lord of the Rings nerd, but I have a ridiculous love of quotes. So this is kind of a hard question for me to answer. I've always really, really loved the poem where the "not all who wander are lost" come from. The whole poem is just beautiful. And I kind of feel bad that that's a super stereotypical one to pick out, because honestly, if you go on Etsy and look for Lord of the Rings quotes, that's the only thing that you're going to find. It's like the one thing that the internet has latched onto and taken it way too far. So I've probably rambled way too long just talking about Tolkien, and yeah. So if you care and if you really enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I would be super, super happy. On the same vein, I really want to do another book chat video, but I really haven't read anything since my last video. I'm kind of still working on the same book. I've started a couple of others. I'm just not really into the reading right now. I'm hoping I can get into it again in the next month or so and maybe have a couple of books to talk to you about. But as of right now, I haven't really been reading anything aside from little things on the internet. So if I can read a couple of books in the next month, maybe I'll do another book chat video. Otherwise, it'll be probably another 3 months, just because I did want to do them kind of every 3 months. I don't know if you're looking forward to that. I really enjoy doing the videos, even if not many people are watching them. But yes, I'm just going to stop rambling. I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!